in this video, I'm going to show you 5 of the most common reasons your Looker Studio blends don't work, and more importantly, how to fix them. And when I say they don't work, I mean 3 possible things. The blend returns no data, some of your data disappears, or perhaps most dangerously, the blend appears to work but gives you the wrong numbers. Let's begin with the most common reason of all. Reason 1. One row is matching several rows. Let's imagine I have 2 very simple tables. The first contains advertising spend by campaign. For the summer sale campaign, I spend $100. The second table contains individual sales. The summer sale campaign generated 2 sales, one for $40 and another for $60. I now blend these tables using campaign as the matching field. At first, that sounds perfectly reasonable. Both tables contain the summer sale campaign, so Data Studio should be able to combine them. But there is a problem. In the first table, summer sale appears once. In the second table, summer sale appears twice. So that single advertising row finds 2 matching rows in the sales data. When blending these 2 tables together, Data Studio places the $100 of spend alongside the first sale, and then places the same $100 alongside the second sale. When Data Studio totals the result, the spend is now $200. The original data hasn't changed. Data Studio hasn't randomly invented another $100. The spend has been repeated because one row on one side matched more than one row on the other side. This is one of the main reasons blended totals suddenly double, triple, or become much larger than expected. Data professionals describe this as a one-to-many or many-to-one relationship. Now, you don't need to remember those terms, but you may want to if you're interested in digging deeper. The important question is simply this: how many times can the same value appear in each table? If summer sale appears once in one table and 5 times in another, and you're joining them on the campaign field, that first row may be matched 5 times. The solution is normally to make sure both tables are summarized at the same level before you combine them. In this example, instead of keeping one row for every individual sale, I could total the sales by campaign first. My sales table would then contain one row for summer campaign with a total revenue of $100. Now I have one campaign row in the advertising table and one campaign row in the sales table. The 2 rows match once and my spend remains $100. So before you create any blend, ask this question about each table. What does one row represent? Does one row represent one campaign per day, one individual sale, one customer? If one row represents something different in each table, you need to think carefully about whether those rows can be safely matched. And if your blended totals are unexpectedly high, repeated matches should be the first thing you investigate. Reason 2. Your matching fields do not really match. The second reason blends fail is that the fields you're using may look the same to you, but they are not the same to Data Studio. Imagine that one table contains this campaign name, and the other table contains summer sale written in lowercase. Those obviously refer to the same campaign, but Data Studio compares the actual values. Differences in capital letters, spaces, punctuation, and formatting can all prevent a match in the blend. A particularly common problem is an invisible space at the end of a value, also known as trailing spaces. You may see summer sale in both tables, but one of those values may actually be summer sale followed by an extra space. They look identical on screen, but they're not identical values. You may also have an ID stored as a number in one data source and as text in another. For example, one table may store a campaign ID as the number 123. The other may store it as a text value of 00123. Again, they may refer to the same campaign, but Data Studio may not treat them as matching values. Dates create similar problems. One source may contain a proper date field, another may contain a date and time. Or one source may contain the 1st of July as a date, while another stores it as text written 01/07/2026. The fields may all be described as dates, but they're not necessarily the same type or format. Campaign names, product names, and customer names can be changed, misspelled, or formatted differently. An ID is normally more dependable. But even when you use an ID, you still need to make sure it has the same format and data type in both tables. You can also create calculated fields inside each table of the blend to clean the values before matching them. For example, you can remove unwanted spaces and convert all text to lowercase. The formula lower trim campaign removes spaces from the beginning and end of the campaign name and converts the result to lowercase. You would create the same cleaned field in each table and use those cleaned fields as the join condition. The exact formula will depend on the problem, obviously. You may need to clean text, convert a field to a different type, or convert both date fields to the same format. But the principle is always the same. Don't ask whether the fields look similar. Ask whether their underlying values, formats, and data types on both sides genuinely match. The third reason is that you've chosen the wrong join type, or placed the wrong table first. Let's use another simple example. My first table contains 3 campaigns: spring, summer, and autumn. My second table contains summer, autumn, and winter. There are 2 campaigns that appear in both tables, but spring only appears in the first table and winter only appears in the second. Data Studio now needs to decide which records it should keep. By default, blends are created using what's called a left outer join. What that means is that it keeps every record from the table on the left, and it then adds matching information from the table on the right. So if the first table contains spring, summer, and autumn, those are the campaign rows Data Studio will keep. Summer and autumn will receive matching information from the second table. Spring will remain as well because it exists in the first table on the left. But the fields coming from the second table on the right will be empty. Winter disappears because winter exists only in the table on the right. This isn't an error, it's exactly what a left outer join is designed to do. But it may not be what you intended. The order of the tables therefore matters. The table on the left should normally contain the complete list of items you definitely want to keep. That could be every campaign, every product, every customer, every date, or every employee. If you put an incomplete table on the left, records that appear only in the other table on the right may disappear. You can also choose a different join type. An inner join keeps only records that appear in both tables. In our example, it would keep summer and autumn, but remove spring and winter. A full outer join keeps records from both tables. It would retain spring, summer, autumn, and winter. For records that exist only on one side, the other version will be empty. There's also a right outer join, which is essentially the opposite of a left outer join, and then a cross join, which creates every possible combination of rows. Cross joins have specialized uses, but they can create huge numbers of rows very quickly and are rarely what beginners are trying to achieve, so you have been warned. So when records disappear from a blend, ask 2 questions. Which table is on the left, and which join type have I selected? Don't simply accept the automatic join configuration without checking that it matches the result you actually want. Reason 4. Data Studio changes each table before combining it. This is probably the least obvious reason why blends behave strangely, and it's one of the main ways a Data Studio blend differs from the simple mental picture many users have of a database join. Data Studio doesn't necessarily combine every original row from your data sources. It first creates a prepared version of each table based on the fields you included in the blend. Let's say my data source contains date, campaign, device, and spend. If I only add campaign and spend to the first table in my blend, Data Studio prepares a result summarized by campaign. It groups all the rows for the same campaign together and totals the spend. But if I add date, campaign, device, and spend, Data Studio now prepares the data at a much more detailed level. There may be separate rows for every combination of date, campaign, and device. That's a completely different table. And when that prepared table is matched with another prepared table, the result can also be completely different. This explains why simply adding or removing a dimension from a blend can change the totals. The field doesn't need to appear in the final chart to influence the blend. Its mere presence in the blend table can change how the data is grouped before the match takes place. There is another surprising consequence. Imagine your source contains two identical looking rows. Both contain the same customer, the same product, and the same quantity. If the blend includes only those fields, Looker Studio may group those rows together before it performs the join. If you need the original records to remain separate, you may need to include a unique field such as an order ID, transaction ID, or row ID in the table. You don't necessarily need to display the ID in the final chart. Its presence can simply prevent separate records from being merged too early. This preparation stage also includes any filter or custom date range that you deliberately add inside an individual table in the blend editor. For example, you could filter the advertising table to include only search campaigns. You could separately filter the analytics table to include only purchase events. Those restrictions would be applied to the individual tables before Looker Studio combines them. This is separate from adding a normal filter to the finished chart. Filters and controls applied to the chart can behave at a different stage. For most beginners, the key idea is not to memorize every stage of filter processing. It's simply to understand this. Data Studio prepares each table first and then combines the prepared result. So when adding a dimension, filter, date field, or calculated field changes the answer, the blend is not behaving randomly. You've changed one of the tables that Data Studio is preparing before the match. This also explains many problems involving dates. For example, you may have daily advertising data and monthly sales targets. If you join both tables only using the month, the same month target may appear alongside every daily advertising row. That can cause the monthly target to be repeated. Before blending dates, check that both tables describe time at the same level. Are both tables daily, both monthly, or both yearly? Also check that both fields are genuinely the same type of data and represent the same time zone where relevant. Two fields being called date does not guarantee that they can be safely joined. Reason 5. You are combining metrics that cannot be safely totaled. The fifth reason is that some metrics don't behave like ordinary numbers. Spend, revenue, clicks, and impressions can usually be added together, but percentages, rates, and averages need a little more care. Let's look at click-through rate. Campaign A receives 1 click from 10 impressions. Its click-through rate, or CTR, is 10%. Then campaign B receives 90 clicks from 1,000 impressions. Its CTR is 9%. If we average those two percentages, we get 9.5%. But that is not the correct overall click-through rate. Together, the campaigns received 91 clicks from 1,010 impressions. The true combined CTR is therefore approximately 9.01%. The problem is that the two campaigns didn't receive the same number of impressions. Campaign B represents far more data than Campaign A. A simple average gives both campaign percentages equal importance, even though one campaign contains 100 times more impressions. This problem can affect click-through rate, conversion rate, engagement rate, average order value, cost per conversion, bounce rate, and many other calculated metrics. Some connectors provide these metrics already calculated and aggregated. When you place them inside a blend and then try to calculate or filter them again, Data Studio may either return the wrong total or display an error saying that it's unable to aggregate ratio metrics. The safest approach is normally to bring in the numbers used to create the percentage. For click-through rate, bring in clicks and impressions. Total the clicks, total the impressions, then divide total clicks by total impressions. In other words, calculate sum of clicks divided by sum of impressions. The same logic applies elsewhere. For conversion rate, use total conversions divided by total sessions, or whichever denominator is correct for your definition. For average order value, use total revenue divided by total orders. For cost per acquisition, use total cost divided by total acquisitions. A simple rule is this: blend and total the ingredients of the percentage and then calculate the percentage afterwards. Don't assume that a percentage can be summed or averaged like an ordinary number. Once you understand those 5 problems, blending becomes much less mysterious. And perhaps the most important habit is this: before you blend 2 tables, ask what one row represents in each one. That one question can prevent many of the most common and most difficult to spot blending errors. If this video helped you understand why your Data Studio blends weren't working, give it a like and subscribe for more practical BI tutorials. And let me know in the comments which Data Studio feature you'd like me to explain next. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, bye.